cookies and cream.
Could be. For the last of our stoner reviews of the day, the one thing that Chasten's been dying to see because everyone loves an edible. So, Swift's Tiger Butter Truffle. Wolf picked this up for me. It's 100 milligrams per. It's a hybrid infusion edible. 10 milligrams of THC per truffle, so it's a little strong. It is 45 calories, and it is almost all saturated fat. So if you don't know, with weed, you have to have saturated fats to get it down and to get it to absorb, which is why I'm going to take one of these before our eat video, because the eat video is going to add to that. To be honest, if you don't eat for about 3 hours before taking one of these, and then just kind of have like a big meal and then eat it, it gives you a hell of a buzz. Me and Wolf, 2 weeks ago, it'll be like months before this video goes out, but 2 weeks ago we were eating, or we went
from the recording.
Yeah, we went and got nachos after a 4-hour D&D session, and unfortunately we were both starving. We hadn't had many calories, and we both eat a lot naturally, so our stomachs were empty. A full plate of nachos was not enough for either of us, and we both took one of these truffles. It knocked us out. I think we lasted, an hour and a half, Justin?
About.
Yeah, because it was a hard one. But yeah, a lot of saturated fat. There is vitamin. There are no vitamins in this. It is all sugar and fat.
There's some health. No, there's not. Don't lie.
There's 1 gram of carbohydrates. Which is
there's your 1 gram of carbs, so you can say it's slightly healthy.
It is white chocolate with a non-fat milk, which is nice. A lot of whey in this. Heavy cream, peanut butter, a lot of peanuts, some sea salt, and a lot of potassium. And then, of course, the cannabis oil. It does contain milk and nuts, so if you're allergic, not a great thing to use, but to pull it out. So I can...
Very unhealthy.
Yeah, these aren't great. Don't eat more than one. I also don't recommend, unless you've tried these. Never try more than one of the products I recommend here. So just looking at
unless you feel like getting really fucking fucked up.
No, never do. Always check your weed first before you take it. You need to know what's going to do to you. So this first one, it's just basically a pure chocolate. It's a white truffle chocolate, and it's got a little bit of crust, almost cake-like, and it comes in a nice little package. That's extremely messy.
I said, I guess you could say it's cake milk.
I'm not stoned enough for that. So popping it out. This is kind of generally what it looks like.
The new catchphrase.
It definitely tastes good, in my opinion. It's one of my one of the sweeter ones I've had. Not that strong though. If you've actually eaten. Oh, let's get this. Come on, camera. There we go. What?
Not that strong for someone your size.
Yeah, so I should warn, for my measurements, I'm currently 235 at about 5'10". I also smoke pretty regularly. Apologies for the blurriness. The camera's having an issue here. I will probably have to restart for the next video. But basically, yeah, I smoke a lot, and these are not very strong. Someone like Chasten or Cameron may have a harder time because they don't usually take weed. In fact, they don't take any at all for either of them.
I do it on a very rare occasion, so...
Fair enough. So yeah, it'd still hit him hard. My biggest recommendation with these kind of things is definitely make sure to take in moderation. If you don't know how it's going to affect you, take a tiny bit, take a quarter of it, cut it up. There's no shame in that. No one should ever judge you for how much you have to take to test it. When I'm at home,
always be safe rather than sorry.
Yeah, basically. So, you're down the hatch. So,
you don't want to end up like Josh
Ellington.
Mm-hmm. Outside, very thick. Very like Reese's Pieces, like for the thickness. Inside is very gooey. A lot of liquid in it. It's very peanut buttery. So aftertaste, very sweet. A very slight bitterness from the weed. To be honest, I can barely taste it. Personally, I actually really like these. It tastes like white chocolate with a little bit of like cake crust, like the cheap birthday cakes you could buy at Costco. Very cheap crust taste to the outside. Nice crunch to it.
3 badass skeletons.
Very good mouthfeel. Highly recommend.
Screw off.
Me or the
Sorry, I'm
skeleton?
playing Borderlands in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna say me or the skeleton.
3 badass skeletons all at once. It's horrible.
So yeah, that's my general recommendation for it. I highly recommend these as a good starter because again, if you eat a lot, you should be fine. Always make sure you take a fat soluble with whatever marijuana products you're taking, if it's ingestible. I highly recommend it. Also, a piece of advice: if you really are experienced and you really like getting high, you can buy these vitamin C tablets. Don't take more than one, first off, because that's terrible. But if you get stoned once a week only, pop one in, and it'll have you zonked. I can confirm on these edibles with that, I can't move. And I think my last time I did that, I told Chess, I'll be fine, I'll be hanging out. And then I was so stoned 20 minutes later, we had to call Civ 6. And we both gave up because he was so bored with the game, which is very unusual for how I play normally when stoned.
Dude, we got 20 turns in and you were out of it.
Oh yeah, I was fucked. Justin was just hanging out with me. So, yeah, big piece of advice for this. I highly recommend these as a nice one to complement a light smoke. Or if you just kind of want to mellow and aren't worried about getting like amazingly high. Again, do remember, this is from someone who is an experienced stoner. I do smoke. Even stoners who like to do it almost every day confirm that they have a hard time getting blasted with me. Our buddy Wolf, who's about 280 pounds, about my same height, a lot wider though. He's a big bodybuilder, strongman type. He only comes over here so often because when we hang out, we get blasted to a point and he just passes out. I think I'm the only person who greens him out. Every time. It's helpful when you have a nice couch though. That's apparently magical. Anybody can fall asleep on the damn thing. Bit of stoner advice also on top of this. If you're going to take one of these, do it before, or do it after you've gone grocery shopping. Don't do it before. Trust me. I made that mistake, and then I texted Trent I wanted to hang out, and that was my second worst mistake that day. So, highly recommend. Really good flavor. And yeah, it'll be probably the thing I start Chasten on when he comes up to visit us, now that he is over 21. We'll probably stick with an edible. Edibles are also a very good introduction piece as a little side thing. I highly recommend them as an introductory into weed. If you don't smoke, smoking is harsh on your body. Yeah. And I'll be doing a little advice thing for pot smokers and people who are interested in marijuana here today too, as I'm high. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.